being projected, even by our worst critiques, 230 and such numbers, we are definitely going above that. And in coming days, you will see the momentum, and the momentum is single-handedly being led by Mr. Modi, and everyone is supporting the cause.
If I can follow it up, yesterday or day before yesterday, Mr. Modi was in Tamil Nadu, and the CNN IBN surveys, which was done by CS, had projected 15% vote for Tamil Nadu, but that doesn't translate into any seats. And same is the case with West Bengal. Do you see you getting some seats in these two states or in Northeast?
We will be getting seats because one, it is still early. Two, no survey can if actually predict what's going on. I have been traveling across the south very extensively. I've been to Kerala, I've been to Tamil Nadu, I've been to uh, Karnataka, and I know the momentum in the people and the apathy towards the government, towards the center, especially the UPA, and looking at Mr. Modi as somebody who can lead and come up as a real opposition in terms of the strategy, thinking, and policy is what people are expecting, hoping, and believing. So he's the right answer for the aspiration, and that message is going loud and clear. And I would say, please wait and watch. And we have won seats in the past, and this time our vote share is going to be higher than the present, and also it will be translating into seats because people have experimented far too long with so many different parties, and we know every time you wait for any regional party in the center, you end up making Congress government. And it is the Congress government which you want to get rid of. And if you vote for anybody else, also the government is that of the Congress. You vote for TMC, the central government remains the Congress. You vote for BSP, the central government remains with the Congress. You vote for Aam Aadmi Party, the government is that of the Congress. So whenever you vote for these people, you are ultimately forming the same government repeatedly. And that is how the country is suffering. And I think the message is going loud and clear. And people this time are not willing to experiment. In fact, for One India, for Best India, for Progressive India, we need to vote for Mr. Modi and vote for the BJP. And that will definitely get converted into seats.
And finally, if I go back again to the Carnegie expert, the it looks like it's headed for a BJP government. But what the issue here was discussed was we haven't heard much about the foreign policy. Who would be, what would be new BJP governments if it formed the relationship with India? What approach it's going to take? Would you like to say something on that? If you
see, the foreign policy of a government, foreign policy of a country doesn't change with the change of the government. Let's be very clear on that. Foreign policy remains the same, but the question is the blunders which UP has made during its governance period, those obviously need to be corrected. Now, whether it's energy sector, it's oil sector, it's trade, it's the trade deficit, I think all these issues need to be addressed in favor of India, which if others don't address, then obviously the recourse will follow. But the foreign policy of a country is the foreign policy of a country and doesn't change with the change in government.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Meenakshi ji, for replying nicely that question from Lalit ji. So moving forward, I'm going to invite Yamir Bhatt, who is our active member from Tampa, and because Dinesh ji's microphone is not working, so Yamir will be asking question for Dinesh ji. So here's Yamir.
Sorry for the echo. Namaste, Meenakshi.
Namaste.
I would like to put a question on behalf of Dinesh ji. And his question is, what is BJP's strategy in Delhi to handle AAP's BJP? Looks like AAP is pushing BJP to make the government fall, and they want to fall with a higher ground. So BJP must not let that happen. Let AAP either continue till the parliamentary election or try to form a new government. So with respect to the confusion that's happening due to AAP's look power, what is BJP's plan?
BJP stand is stay off, and we are neither interested in the fall of the government nor are we interested whether the government continues or not. Our stand is absolutely clear. We decided to sit in the opposition. We continue to be in the opposition. If Aam Aadmi Party's government is going to fall, it will fall because of their own deeds and because of their own interests. And if this government was to fall, why did they in the first place form the government? If they knew Congress was corrupt, why the Congress was help was sought? So answer is very clear. Aam Aadmi Party is nothing but a reincarnation of the Congress Party itself. I don't know how many people in the world know that in 2005, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi has written a letter to the Prime Minister and Finance Minister that this gentleman, along with his wife, should not be transferred out of Delhi. And this person continues to be in government service. In 20 years of his service, he hasn't got a single transfer. So it shows his proximity to the circles which are in power. It shows how he's manipulated the system, shows how he's used this very system to promote himself and then abuse the very system. Promoting is not bad, but after promoting yourself under the system, abusing the same system shows a lack of character. Apart from the fact that issues of transparency governance are the ones which he's seeking to address, whereas if there is anyone who could be called Beiman in that sense, I think any government servant will fall in the category of Beiman for indulging in this kind of practice. And all this is nothing. Every time there is a problem with the Congress Party, Aam Aadmi Party has come to its rescue. And I can give you this. On 20th, if there was a problem, because Sunanda Pushkar's death happened on 20th, report came that her death happened to be because of poisoning. Same day, a day which could have had the channels going berserk on this issue, who did it, how happened, what could be the causes, etc., and cause some sense of embarrassment to the Congress Party. First dharna happened of a government which is supported by the Congress Party, and that particular subject was suppressed. The second time, when on 24th, this particular Telangana bill and several other things happened. Second dharna happened. Telangana, the state government refused to support the central government on its bill, and then the question would have arisen about Telangana. So the second dharna happened, and to suppress whatever Mr. Modi said in his speech on a day before on that particular Sunday. And Monday was this day. Then the third time when Augusta Westland came up, and it was again 10 Janpath which was put into question, they indulged in the practice of they started calling names to Mr. Modi, Mr. Lekhi, etc. And when you ask them, give us the proof, give us the number, give us the details, why did you not approach the police? And when 20 crore was offered, and the day on which 20 crore was offered, that happened to be one day before even this gentleman was chosen or selected as an MLA. He was not even in a position to make any, make a government fall or move aside, because nobody knew he will even win the elections. So those are the things which this particular party is engaging in. And the reverse favors are also seen. Reverse favors are that Aam Aadmi Party symbol got reservation even when they were fighting the first election. As per the RPA Act, the symbol could not have been reserved, because for the first time when you contest election, any party has to get back at least with a minimum of 10% vote share and return certain number of people to the parliament or to the legislative assembly, and then get recognition either as a national party or as a regional party. So obfuscating these laws, a notification was issued after election had been announced and their symbol was reserved. And when a particular election is announced, you can't even approach the court because court will not bar and court wants election process to continue. So this kind of favor was shown by the then government towards the Aam Aadmi Party. The second favor came when 1 month got completed and they were supposed to have a discussion on the report card. The gentleman just made a certain statement: 700 liters of water, 400 units and free electricity, etc., etc. Before he could be counter-questioned with regard to Somnath Bharti and so on and so forth, immediately the Congress MLA got up, created a ruckus on Batla House encounter, showed as if he was opposing, but ultimately helping Aam Aadmi Party, who did not have to answer a single question by the media. So this is the manner in which Aam Aadmi Party and Congress collusion is working. Right now, they all knew the target was not to form the government in Delhi, but target happened to be Mr. Narendra Modi. We have seen in the past how Bhindranwala was used by the Congress first to create riots in Punjab and have a certain Hindu sections killed, and subsequently create a differentiation and distinction between Hindus and Sikhs, then make Sikhs as a separate entity from Hindus, and even get Bhindranwala killed. So they can chew anybody like a carrot or a cabbage, and that is what they are going to do with Aam Aadmi Party. As long as they are useful, serve their purpose, they'll get the entire support, and that is what is you'll see it. I had predicted, I can actually be a political astrologer. I had predicted about during the Anna movement that they are going to split and they are going to form a government, they are going to form a political party. 3 years later, all that came true. But people in the first go were not even willing to accept what I said in the month of February, March, when the first unction happened. And I said, you wait and watch and you will see things unfolding in front of your eyes. And that is what exactly happened. I predicted they are going to split. They are just looking for excuses. This government's not going to be there. They'll carry on Jan Lokpal. They first tried to make police as a fall guy, which did not happen. So Jan Lokpal and go and carry on so-called yatras, etc. And immediately, second week to third week, they will go because they have to carry on their propaganda. How will the propaganda be continued if they have to form a government and run a government? You can't have a propaganda machinery and run a government at the same time. And get multiple hours of the TV channels for free. That is not going to happen, and that is not the rule of a commercial world. So somewhere some things are going wrong which don't meet the eye. That's a separate issue altogether. But this is how Aam Aadmi Party's politics is going on. But they have lost the credibility, and I guess credibility or no credibility is not their concern. The concern is only one: how to sabotage the election and how to affect Mr. Modi's nomination as Prime Minister. But I think these kind of roadblocks will not come in front of Mr. Modi, and he is a very, very strong candidate, and we will move forward with a full speed.
Thank you very much, Meenakshi ji. Actually, it's very true. In fact, everybody is realizing the fact of AAP, and I wish that your prediction, your foresight, whatever you can see, that is going to be true. And here where BJP is working, our youth and everybody from where BJP banner working very hard to make sure that every NRIs and especially youth hear what you are saying, and they know the fact of AAP, so that they can understand AAP is so dangerous for India, in fact, at this point of time. So thank you very much for your reply. Now, moving forward, I'm going to ask.
Can I add to? No, I'm sorry. I want to add 2-3 lines more so that the message gets percolated.
Yeah, sure.
You see, the other fact which we must always emphasize, apart from the fact that Mrs. Gandhi had written a letter in 2005 stalling the transfer of a government servant, who, if is honest and impartial, needs to get transferred every 3 years. And if that is not happening, that itself is a question mark. Second thing we must emphasize is that Yogendra Yadav was a member of National Advisory Council, so working directly out of 10 Janpat. And this NAC member was also an advisor to Mr. Rahul Gandhi, and some say he used to write his speeches. His wife has been given a job. He himself was with UPSC, etc., etc. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal was a subordinate of Miss Aruna Roy, who herself is from National Advisory Council. Manish Sisodia also is from NAC and worked for Aruna Roy. Now, this is the background of three people. Fourth person happens to be Prashant Bhushan, who on the first day of the press conference on Robert Vadra's land deal made a statement that we investigated and we found nothing against Miss Priyanka Gandhi or Miss Sonia Gandhi. Whereas if you go by the facts, Priyanka Vadra was a director in 2008 in Vadra's companies. And you don't have to be a super short lawyer or anything. 50 rupee stamp and you can get this information from registrar of companies. Anybody who knows anything and has worked anywhere in the country would know that they fact. So this is the background. So this particular gang is operating straight out of 10 Janpat, and the duty is to masters, and that is exactly what they are doing. Exactly their function is all about. I don't want to get into the fact that Havios, Ford, so on and so forth have funded them in the past, and those data are available in the ministry, so they are keeping a tab on them, etc., etc. I don't even want to touch that. But the most important part is that it's the 10 Janpat blue-eyed boys who have formed the Aam Aadmi Party. Because Congress knew very well they can get no vote in their own name, so this is a transformation of the same party.
Thank you very much, Meenakshi ji. And people must realize about the propaganda of anti-corruption by Arvind Kejriwal, because he himself has told a few times that people who were working under him when he was working, so they made crores of rupees, and he never dared to really catch even one single guy who were making crores of rupees under him. So definitely it was all propaganda by him about anti-corruption things. And people are wondering how come he came close to
his
Anna.
Wife continued.
Absolutely.
His wife continues to be in the same department.
Yeah,
his wife is still working in the same department.
Yeah, and even you know, people can understand that nobody is coming as corrupt people working for these Arvind Kejriwal and his wife, and still believe that he is a crusader of anti-corruption. So it's really unfortunate for our young people and Indian who still believe that he is working for anti-corruption. So anyways, I think people will listen what we are discussing, and youth will understand the fact. Now moving forward, I would like to ask Anju ji to just present a question from Washington DC, and very active in OF BJP, and working very hard to reach out to many NRIs in that area. So Anju ji, please.
Namaste Meenakshi ji. First of all, I would like to congratulate you for your unwavering and dedicated service to the country, obviously through BJP, the only nationalist party that I see today. So my question is, as you know that India is a diverse country, similarly we are going to have a diverse set of candidates for BJP, and these would be differing in their educational and intellectual levels. So is BJP as party planning to have any 2 or 3 day workshop or training sessions for these candidates so that they can be trained properly with the policies, vision and ideology of BJP, and also they can be taught about Modi ji's achievements and other BJP chief ministers, so that when they reach out to the masses in their own constituencies, they are very well prepared to deliver the message of BJP and garner more and more support for the party and for Modi ji.
Anju, thank you very much, but a member of parliament is like a senator, and you give tickets to those people who are already trained at the job. You don't run training programs just short of election when elections are not even 2 months away. So the training program now is not a question, but the tickets definitely will be given to people who are experienced in governance and issues which are related to people and are aware on the subject, and only such candidates will be given the tickets, I can assure you that. And these are people who have worked for the party for a very, very long time, are aware, are articulate, and can give or have given, even in the past, good leadership to the party, and they are the ones who will be contesting. And in any case, this election is more or less going to be the presidential style election, where votes will be garnered in the name of Mr. Narendra Modi, and repetition of particular candidate, until unless it's really pathetic or has done some real misdeeds, the election will be twisted towards Mr. Modi as the Prime Minister, and that will be the focus.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Meenakshi ji, for that question. In fact, every NRI has this question in his or her mind, that how BJP is really dealing with the selection of candidates, and how fair we are in terms of making corruption less candidate coming to parliament. So thank you very much for that question, in fact. Now I would like to ask Indranil to have his question to Meenakshi ji.
Hello, Meenakshi ma'am. I'm Indranil from Hyderabad and Phoenix in USA. I like to believe I'm one of the young followers and promoters of BJP here. But I have two questions. One a short one. On TV debates, right? More often than not, Congress spokespersons are not making logical statements. They are more emotional, more passionate, and not logical. No data, no statistics. Especially Renuka ji and Sanjay Jha. And my question to you is, how do you tackle such points when there is no logic in it? How do you tackle them, and how do you maintain to keep your cool? Because when I'm watching here, I'm like, oh my God, I would have gone hammers and tongs at that person. But how do you manage to keep your cool? And the second question is, second question is, how does BJP plan to give more tickets to young people this time, given the fact that 60 or 65% of our population is less than 35, and will BJP be giving 33% reservation to women in ticket distribution as well? So these are my two questions.
I'm not sure about 33% tickets to women. I'm not sure on that. But handling Sanjay Jha, Renuka ji is pretty much easy, because sometimes you don't react. Sometimes if you're really in a foul mood, your reaction is angry, and if you are in a good mood, you can laugh it off. So you really don't have, I mean, you have basically many choices in dealing with them, and it's how you are feeling on that day will determine how you handle them. Now, coming to the substantial question which you have asked, and that is about youth and how to attract youth by giving tickets to younger people. I think the policy of the party is to promote leaders and keep the senior leaders in the capacity of advisors, and send them to the upper house. And when it comes to contesting, let the younger ones contest, and comparatively young people will get the ticket. And when I say young, I really don't mean young. I mean people who could actually fall in the category of mid-age people like Mr. Rahul Gandhi, who continues to call himself, and others continue to call him youth, is just about 1 year, 1.5 years younger to me, and my children are adults, and they are the youth. I'm sure I don't want party to give ticket to people aged my children, but I may be the right candidate for that kind of a job. I should say me, but I'm saying people my age who are in their mid 40s to mid 50s, and look at certain 60 category. And in this country, even youth is. It's not as if you want to promote youth or discontinue promoting youth, but you have to have a mix of people who are experienced at the job, who understand the subject, who knows the principle of governance, and they can carry, and they have the right amount of energy to carry the country forward, and right mental setup. And I think that is what is most important.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, Meenakshi ji, we always enjoy your conversation with Arnav Goswami on television. So that is also one of the best conversation, and you are so bold enough on television that no media person can come in front of you. So thank you very much for being so patriotic and being so bold and firebrand leader of BJP. So my next guest here in Hangout is Arvind Modni from New Jersey, and he's our youth convener in that area, working very hard to bring youth in New York, New Jersey area, and help Modi ji for 2014 election campaign. So Arvind ji, please have your question here.
Namaste, Meenakshi ji. This is Arvind, Swayamsevak from Hyderabad. My question is, recently seen some news, especially in the Telugu media and also on Times of India, that Mr. Chandrababu Naidu is the standby Prime Minister for the NDA. My question is, who is actually doing this mischief? And also, it is stated that he might be the convener. We have seen how he actually, treated BJP last time. Why should a person with like 10 seats be made a convener when we have our all-weather allies, sticking to under all situations? That's the question. And then my second question is, AAP, they are like every day they throw some allegations on even our national leaders. Aren't we increasing their stature by our national leaders? What's your take on this?
You see, I answer the first question first. When you talk about Chandrababu Naidu, in politics, one must remember that nobody is untouchable. The second rule of the game is if people realize what they have done was wrong, it's okay. Third thing is what is really happening or not happening. I have no news, and these are media reports, so I don't think one should really buy those stories in totality. We have to wait and watch and see what really happens at the right time. One. The second question which you raised about Aam Aadmi Party, I'm glad people are noticing that this is the strategy of Aam Aadmi Party, bereft of facts, lies, I can say, and saboteurs, as they call themselves, is very, very apparent. So, spit and escape or loot and scoot is the policy, which is being noticed by the Aam Aadmi and common people. And I call Aam Aadmi Party as Aadmi Party because they're all men and very masculine in their approach. No decency or policies which you normally look at, the energy which you definitely look at, they are bereft of that. So they are usually acting as goons, just come, attack, and escape. And when you ask for proof and evidence, you say, I have none. And well, that's it. I've made a statement. I've made a statement. And statement should be taken at face value because I have made that statement. So I always say that clean chip Viran Samaro is what Aam Aadmi Party does. So anybody can be corrupt, would have indulged in all kind of wrong activities, would do the wrong activities. It becomes absolutely pure and clean, like Ganga Jal has been sprinkled on that person because he has joined Aam Aadmi Party. That's what Aam Aadmi Party is all about. And when you say stature, I think people need to respond to them. If you don't respond to them, then they are occupying the mind space, which also you can't allow them to occupy the mind space, because two things are happening parallelly. Congress is not assertive and aggressive or contradicting Aam Aadmi Party. And if BJP also does not do that, then the message which is percolating down to people is that these two are parallel and Aam Aadmi Party is great. Whereas the message is Aam Aadmi Party and Congress are together. It is for this reason Congress is not responding to them. Congress is not even questioning. It is only BJP which has to respond to this kind of nonsense.
Thank you, Meenakshi ji.
Yeah, I think now people are realizing that is the fact that from where AAP is coming and how they are going to operate in India. So I'm sure that everybody should be aware and will be aware about AAP, and they'll move forward. Now we have our Bharatji, Bharat Baraiji. He is from Chicago. Dr. Bharatji is a very influential community leader from Chicago. Unfortunately, we cannot see him. There is some technical difficulty. But Bharatji, can you please ask your question?
Namaste. I have the fortune of seeing you on the television. I also happen to be a personal friend of Narendra Modi ji for last 30 years. So I have the fortune of knowing him and meeting him. My question is the positive part of BJP's agenda, what it will do for the people of India. That part somehow or other is not coming out as much, except, who said what about it. How can we bring out the positive part of BJP's manifesto to the people so they know that it's not just one thing against corruption, but also there is a positive agenda for the country and hope for a better life? And the second question I have is, just about half an hour ago, the news media were flashing that Arvind Kejriwal has threatened that if the Jan Lokpal bill is not passed, then he will quit. Can you comment on that news line?
I have even earlier answered that this is a strategy which in Hindi we call Nura Kushti and in English we say mock fight. So this was a plan. By second week, third week, they had to bring the government down. They tried to level allegations against the police and thought that would be the best way to bring the government down. But when they thought the mood of the people is going to turn against them, because the people need police and not a stateless state. So they have now brought in Jan Lokpal. Now Jan Lokpal is not the only way to fight corruption. In fact, there is ample corruption in Aam Aadmi Party also, which they have chosen to ignore, start beginning with Somnath Bharti himself. Now, Jan Lokpal is just an excuse because they need an agenda for running the election campaign and actually dupe people the second time. We have seen how they began in the pre-election campaign that मैं बच्चों की कसम खाता हूँ कांग्रेस का साथ लिए बिना गवर्नमेंट नहीं बनाऊंगा. He did it. शीला दीक्षित करप्ट है और उनके पास 370 पेज का मेरे पास डॉकेट डॉजियर है और उनके ऊपर जो है कार्रवाई होगी. Now CWG FIR gets registered but without the name and without the right documents and documentation. And this is only a methodology trying to separate themselves from the Congress party and try and make this an election agenda so that they can go for campaign. That's all. And nothing more than that. Another interesting fact is there is a company called Cicero, C-I-C-E-R-O, Cicero Associates. Now this Cicero Associate is a company which is floated just 1.5 years ago and is the company which has two directors. One happens to be a property dealer and second director is Suneet Madhur. Suneet Madhur happens to be the General Secretary of Delhi Pradesh Congress Committee, and this company has done survey for Aam Aadmi Party in the past. Do you need more proof that they are hands in glove? And this company has done no other work other than do the survey for Aam Aadmi Party. And so they are just on the same agenda. of wanting to get rid of each other. And when this first question you asked, of course, we have our manifesto. We have worked very hard on it. We have a vision document. We know exactly how to run the government. And Mr. Modi, when spoke on the last occasion at Delhi, where in our national executive meeting, I think he already set the agenda and manifesto in totality. What country needs today is employment. What country needs to do is give education to people, and education for the sake of education, not just personality building or haircut designs or how to look pretty and model around. I mean, those are not the issues of education. Education means the child should be able to write, have mathematical skills. That is why we all go to schools and become better and better at what we would like. Health is one of the major issues. Roads and infrastructure is another issue. Power sector is major issue. All these things, how we intend to tackle, is already given a broad picture. We have the finer details with us, and in due course we will be coming up with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Meenakshi. Now, next question I would like to ask Yamir, but he is very active and web BJP youth leader here, coming up very strong from Tampa, Florida, and he's the convener for our social media. So he's helping us big time for Hangout and any other social media related activities. So Yamir, please have your question.
Okay. Meenakshi, we are having a lot of questions coming from people watching us online. So before I ask my question, I would like to ask a question one of our viewers. Her name is Drumi Bhatt. And her question is, what is BJP's stand on women's security? What do you feel about capital punishment for the rapist?
Capital punishment, the amendment to the law has already come. Capital punishment in cases where aggravated circumstances or life-threatening circumstances are there, ordering events have happened, capital punishment exists as a punishment, and women's safety and security is as much a concern as you say. And if you actually match the data in India is far lower than United States. So I think one need not be that bothered and must see that how India's image, like, an attempt is made to tarnish the image of India. But go into depth and you realize women's security and safety is as much an issue for anybody across the globe. And in fact, amongst the developed nation, we have a very good track record. And developed countries like United States, especially New Jersey and such areas, we are far, far, far better placed. But we are still working, struggling with our police ratio, with our technology, with all the 100 numbers, etc. We are working on that.
That's awesome. That's perfect. I hope Rumi got her question. She is very energetic member of BJP as well. The next question is actually mine. I was wondering if you ever considered, would you consider serving the people as a minister ever? And if so, which part do you feel?
I think that question needs to be answered by the others in position to take that decision. I will be serving the people no matter what, wherever, whatever capacity I'm working in. Rest of the questions will be answered in due course and as the life unfolds and how others take a call on this.
Okay.
And what kind of cabinet our prime ministerial candidate is looking at.
The next question is from Ramana. He was looking to find out when is BJP declaring all of its candidates?
Very soon, very soon. I can't give you the number and the date, but yes, enough time. we will be declaring very shortly, and you will all get to know about it, state by state.
Perfect. The next question comes from Sri Chandrasekharji. He wants to know, other than yourself, who's the other spokesperson that you think is really good from along the party lines?
What is the question? I'm sorry, I didn't catch on.
Is there a spokesperson that you personally find interesting?
No, I think I'll put the question back to you.
Of course, you are our favorite, but like if you,
so that I think it serves my purpose. I need not answer it.
Sorry, Meenakshi, did you get the answer? Did you get the question?
No. I really don't intend to answer that question.
Okay.
Yamir, thanks for question, and I'm sure that next time Meenakshi will be able to answer that question. But moving forward, actually, I have a question.
No, I like all my party colleagues. I think we have a wonderful lot. I think party has taken a very good decision of making 7 people as a national spokespersons, and each one of them have their own special qualities, beginning with my senior colleagues, and I can start with Shahnawaz Hussain, who has some very fantastic one-liners, in-depth knowledge, Nirmala Sitaraman, Abhimanyu, who is Captain Abhimanyu, our JAT leader, very articulate both in Hindi and English, and comes from Hindi heartland, Haryana, is JAT. Then we have Sonal Shastri, who's actually an SC/ST community person, but extremely articulate, knowledgeable, a former member, or not even just a member, chairperson of SC/ST Commission, knows the subject in depth, knows it exactly how the government has functioned, was a member of parliament. Sudhanshu Trivedi, a 2 PhD holder, one in religion and the second mechanical engineering. I think we have a beautiful team, and an extremely experienced parliamentarian, and he has his way with words and can laugh off many stupidities, and absolutely calm and quiet temperament. I think party has done a fantastic job in assigning each one of us as national spokesperson. Though at times I feel the media picks up the non-spokespersons and portrays them as spokespersons. That's another issue which we keep fighting all the time. But these are the 7 spokespersons which the party has made.
Thank you very much, Meenakshi, and we all know that BJP has best spokesperson in India among all the parties, no question about it. And thank you very much for that answer. Now moving forward, we have only 2 last questions, keeping that things that mind that it's going to be really late for you in India. So just we are going to wrap it up in a couple of questions left. So my question, what I'm going to ask is, it's a very general question. Everyone is excited to really know how BJP is working to make 272 goal possible, because it's very important for every Indian, whether they live in India and out of India, that Modi ji should come with the majority 272. And we are very excited to know that it is do and die situation, definitely, but how BJP is working at each and every level, starting from the ground level to youth level to competing with all the party, to make sure that we put 100% effort from our side to make 272 possible.
You see, there are 2-3 options, and one I will immediately say we are left with 55 days, so it's a very short time. We have been working on the subject not from now but for past 5 years, starting with conversation about black money stashed outside the country, corruption within the country, price rise, inflation, employment, women's safety, security. We have been working at it for a very, very long time, and these are the issues which are affecting a common man. Now, coming to the hardcore electoral politics, two things are very clear. One is that in this shorter span, you have to understand what will you do first and immediately. 078 200 is the number which I would request all of you to propagate to all your friends, family, and business colleagues, and let this number go viral. Tell people to give a missed call at this number. Each one of you must take it upon yourself, because when you say assign us the work, this is the job which you need to do. Make this number viral and tell people to give missed call detail on 078 200. Kindly note that number. The second step is on this number, kindly tell people to send their epic card details. Like every election card has a number. If your friends, your family, your business colleagues in India who hold the valid election IDs and will be supporting Narendra Modi for the Prime Ministership, they must all send their voter IDs to this number. Kindly work on these two issues. If you work on these two issues, you would help me a great deal. A great deal. So please ensure this message goes viral from our side. So far as we are concerned, we are engaging in door-to-door activity to everything. I tell people to quickly get registered, because registrations for voters, voting is open till 15th of this month, and tell people to get themselves registered for election and for voting rights.
Thank you very much for answer, and definitely it is going to be kind of a movement in India after 1947. This is a 1914 movement when everyone from society, from India and abroad, will be helping this election and Modi ji to make 272 possible. So thank you very much for answer. Now last question comes from our president of Overseas Friends of BJP, and I would request to ask his question and conclude this hangout.
Actually, मीनाक्षी जी क्वेश्चन बहुत हो गए हैं और इसको हम कंक्लूड कर रहे हैं, और आप तरीके बीजेपी के जो लीडर्स लोग गूगल हैंगआउट में जो आते हैं, तो जो हमारे जो काम करने वाले कार्यकर्ता हैं, तो उनको बहुत उत्साहवर्धन उनका, उनको ऐसा लगता है कि पर्सनल उनका एक अच्छा अटैचमेंट हुआ। और यहाँ पर भी जो यूएस में यहाँ के रहने वाले 40 लाख भारतीय लोग, हम लोग चाहते हैं कि जो भारत की जो चुनौतियां हैं, जो आने वाले चुनाव में हम किस तरह से हम पार्टी को हेल्प करें, हम यहाँ से कितना हम कर सकते हैं। आपने जो अभी जो सारे क्वेश्चन आंसर जो आप लोगों ने किया है, हम लोग के काफी जो कार्यकर्ताओं को उत्साह इसमें मिला है, और निश्चित रूप से हम प्रॉमिस करते हैं कि ये जो भारत के बाहर का ये सबसे बड़ा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन और सबसे पुराना ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो बीजेपी का है, ये हमारे कार्यकर्ता पूरे तन मन धन से इस चुनाव में अपनी पूरी आहुति देंगे। हम पुनः अपने जो डॉक्टर रजनी सरीन जी हैं, मैं उनको पुनः ओवरसीज बीजेपी की तरफ से बहुत बहुत हार्दिक आपको धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ। आपने अरेंज किया लास्ट वीक में नितिन जी के साथ, हमारा नितिन गडकरी जी के साथ हुआ था, और आने वाली वीक में अनंत कुमार जी के साथ हमारा गूगल हैंगआउट होने जा रहा है। इस तरह से हर वीक में जितना भी 2-3 वीक बचा हुआ है, और पुनः आपको बहुत बहुत ओवरसीज बीजेपी की तरफ से धन्यवाद मीनाक्षी।
धन्यवाद चंद्रकांत जी, और मैं रजनी जी को कहूंगी कि
Thank you very much once again. I enjoyed being moderator for this hangout, and thank you very much Meenakshi ji from my side to be as bold as you can with Arnav Goswami and so many other media person. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Any other Meenakshi ji, any your message, any ending words for us viewer in United States? Please, if you have few words as ending conclusion.
If I would request, all of you can come and vote. help supporting all our candidates across the country, whichever way you can. And least those who cannot come, cannot do anything, I think 078200 78200 registration, they can still work on wherever they must be sitting in the world, and make this viral, and tell people to send their election ID. That will be the biggest help I can get from anybody. Have Namo Tea parties at your place, and get them uploaded on Namo Tea Party website.
Thank you very much. We have
आप सभी लोग अपने रिश्तेदारों को गांव में जहां भी रहते हैं 10-10 फोन करेंगे रोज, और उनसे कहिए वो आगे फोन करें, वोट एंड सपोर्ट मोदी, वोट एंड सपोर्ट बीजेपी। अगर आप अब से ये सोच लें कि आने वाले जितने भी दिन बचे हैं, अबाउट 50 डेज है लेफ्ट, रोज फोन करेंगे तो वो बहुत बड़ी हेल्प होगी। आपका वहां से यहाँ पर रहने वाले लोगों का कहना बहुत मायने रखता है।
Thank
so
you.
Don't forget that you have to call them, tell them, vote and support Modi ji. At least 10 for it.
Absolutely. We have noted down all the inputs from our BJP India for Namo Chai Party, for Mere Sapnon Ka Bharat. We have already started all these initiatives in the United States, and calling the number which Meenakshi ji has mentioned, and we are going to make sure that we have at least 100,000 volunteers from our BJP banner, and call at least 10 people from here, each of us. So we are going to do whatever it takes from here.
Can I just make a small request? I think the time is so short. Now, program, I don't know how you're going to go about it, but the election is won and lost at the booth level. So 078200 78200 can alter the fate. So kindly insist on that. Even if we just stick to one agenda of 78200 78200 registration with the election ID, we would have done our jobs.
Absolutely, we are going to make it happen. But thank you very much for your kind support and spending time with all of us. We really cannot thank enough for your generosity and making this time available for us. Thank you once again very much. So now I will end this hangout. So have a great night over there, and we'll touch base again.
Thank you.
Thank you.